We would be looking at the position of the Islamic Council as against that of CAN with regards to the alleged reported killing of Christians in the northern part of Nigeria. Now, this conversation has been the focus of the focal point across the country and even with the international community involved, and a lot is being said about how the government should tackle the problem of killings that we have, especially in the northern parts of the country. Well, that said, my guest this morning is the CAN chairman, Northern States and FCT, Reverend Joseph Jonah Hayab. Sir, thank you for joining us and good morning to you.
Thank you for having me, and good morning to all our listeners. I am Joseph John Hayab, Reverend Joseph John
Hayab. All right. Thank you very much. And now, just so we get on as quickly as possible and maximize the little amount of time that you're giving us, I would like to start with a very straightforward question. And this is simple. It's a question that has been asked and we've not really gotten a direct answer to it. Is there really, truly a Christian genocide in the northern part of this country?
For me, as a Christian, for me, as a pastor, for me, as a victim, for me, as somebody who has been in this and around this drama for a very long time, I will give you an emphatically yes. We've had so many killings in the north. I don't know what people want to use to define their genocide. If you have killed us 10, and later killed 20, and later killed 30, and later killed 100, and later killed 1,000, must we wait for you to kill everybody before we call it genocidal? Look at the definition of genocide. When we were having our good time, for no just reason, in 2000, somebody introduced Sharia law. And in order to please some group of people, it became a cry all over the north. And we Christians refuse and reject it. They end up having our festivals, our pastors, our people being killed. Not 1,000, almost 2,000. We buried them. How many of our churches were burnt and destroyed that time? Pastors killed. I remember the then treasurer of Kaduna State, Reverend Solomon Gurusa, came out just for prayers and got killed. And so you tell me it is not in 2002, just 2 years after that, Christians in northern Nigeria, especially in Kaduna, knew nothing. Some of them don't even read newspaper. But because one young lady wrote an article that some people felt the article was derogatory, they descended with their anger on our churches, on our pastors, on our worshippers, and killed over 300. One of the pastors whose hand were chopped up, by the grace of God, on Saturday, I'm going to be preaching at his retirement service. His name is Reverend Serchum David Sokla. I'll be preaching at his retirement. The fact that why I have to travel to church to preach at the retirement is because I know the pains this man went through because his hand was cut off. His senior pastor, Reverend BBBJ, was killed, slaughtered like an animal. So every slighted issue, kill it. Every slighted issue, kill it. In 2006, when a Danish cartoonist did a cartoon, I have not even seen the cartoon up to today. And many Christians in northern Nigeria don't even know what the cartoon says. But the same characters demolish our churches, kill our people in Bauchi, kill our people in Maiduguri and other places. And in 2009, Mohammed Yusuf and his team launched aggressive Boko Haram campaign. Three among the early people they killed were Reverend Oji. Oji is of Benue State. I remember Reverend Oji, when he saw they were going to kill him, he told his friends that please go and tell my people I die well. Yesterday, when an article came out, I told this story. I shared the article with his wife. I can read what she said to me. She said, Pastor, that's my consolation. Because I, Reverend Hayab, was the one who worked with one Reverend Ladi Thompson in Lagos and Papa Ayo Orisi Japo, and we moved Mrs. Oji and her children. Oji was killed. Few days, Mrs. Oji gave birth to her daughter, Esther. She gave her the name Esther. And so Mrs. Oji had been in Lagos. I remember the first house we got for her in Lagos was somewhere in Bagada near Dipalai. She just moved from Lagos. That was in 2010. She just moved from Lagos and come back to Abuja this year. So we know this story. I have not been to Calabar. God did that drama. I took the corpse of Pastor Sylvester Osonobong to Ekotipene. The fact that I flew to Calabar and hired a vehicle from Calabar to Ekotipene. Then there was no airport in Uyo. The day I was to come back, I now dropped through another route, went to the airport in Port Harcourt and picked a flight back to the north. I remember Pastor Yusuf Bitrus, Yakubu Bitrus, who was also killed. His brother was then the medical director of the General Hospital in Maiduguri. So the brother took care of the wife and moved her from Maiduguri to Jos because they were cooking pastors. And someone tell me that has ever been killed. I'm just using some names to show this. So killings have continued and non-stop. In the years of Erufai as governor of Kaduna State, it was like every week, I either bury 20, I either bury 10, I either bury 50, and so on. I have evidence and those pictures, even as I'm talking to you now. So if killings have been going on, and there has never been deliberate effort to stop the killing, there has never been deliberate effort to expose those who are doing the killing, what do you call that? What is genocide more than that? Young Christian girls, even as I'm speaking, are still in some emirs' houses because they were taken from their parents and forcefully given to marriage by some people. And they will even ask them to publicly come and deny their age. A young girl that I am her father, I know that she's just 12 years, but she was taken and given to marriage and claimed to be 22. And you wonder, even at 22, her mother has even married. But that's what they do. You cannot go to police, you won't get justice. You cannot go to court, you won't get justice. You cry out, nobody even cares about you. So these things have been happening. Nobody is saying that it is this advent of Tinubu. Tinubu just came in two years and few months ago. At least we know that there are some shifts. Some people will say no, because when he came in, he brought in some service chiefs that were farm and stopped something. Whatever happened, at least he has done well. But these things have been happening. But have they stopped? They've not stopped. So if the world have gathered enough information, enough evidence to show that our people have been killed and want to see action taken so that nobody else will be killed, we welcome that development. I personally didn't like the idea of putting Nigeria in country of particular concern because my knowledge of it is that the sanctions will inflict more pain on the common people. The sanctions will weaken our security agencies from having weapons to fight the terrorists. But to say you deny that we are not being killed, that itself is not fair. Then you are not fair to the victims, neither you are fair to their families. Those who kill us, either kill us as Boko Haram, kill us as ISWAP, kill us as Lakarawa, kill us as Ansaru or whatever terrorist organization. And what are they championing? Islamic ideology. So what would have expected from this whole drama is, look, truly we admit that certain things have gone wrong. Let's take a step to correct it. But they say, no, nothing happened. If we say that, then we are not being fair. And look, let's look at this from a more human point of view. Someone who claimed to be your son came and burnt my house, came and killed my family, and I ran to you to complain that, look, your son killed my wife, or your son killed my son, or killed my mother, he burnt my house. The response you will give me is that he also did that to me. No, you are not kind. You're supposed to sympathize with me. You're supposed to show remorse. You're supposed to say, oh, this my son is causing me so much pain. Why is he doing this? Please, I'm deeply sorry. Once those conversations are done, then you can come and say, honestly speaking, I'm worried, but he has done this to me. But what we get from Nigeria is that we shouldn't even say that somebody's child has burnt our house. We shouldn't even say that somebody's child has killed our people. We shouldn't even say that somebody's child has caused us pain. We should say, no, there is no pain. He is doing it to everybody. That is different. Most of the Muslims against terrorists went after, later. It wasn't at the beginning, later. Were people who refused to support their ideology. But the larger group thought that someone is dealing with us because we're not part of them until they start dealing with them. So it is a wake-up call for all of us to wake up and see how do we come together to denounce evil, even if the man who is doing the evil is our friend, is our brother, is from our home. apply
But
the
this is
common
where we
sense.
are, Reverend. The Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, just on Sunday here, dismissed the allegations of Christian genocide, saying it's
What do you want them to
false
say?
and it's politically
What do you want
motivated.
them to say? I've just finished analyzing to you. They have to
So,
dismiss it
so
because
is
they
it that
don't
they are
want
not
to see
aware
Nigeria
of
get
these
well.
things you are just
They don't
telling
want to see
us?
Nigeria get out of this thing.
No,
Are they saying that we are lying, we are not killed? Are they saying that our churches were not born? Can they prove and look at me on the face of my eye and tell me what I said in 2000 didn't happen, what I said in 2002 didn't happen, what I said in 2006 didn't happen during the Danish cartoon when they just sought for permission from Alebo the sheriff and said that he should allow them, let them go, they will just do protest because from 1999 to 2003, Alebo the sheriff was not, he was a senator. In 2003, he became governor. So in 2006, when the Danish cartoon drama came up, they just asked him, we are not going to do violence, just allow us go to the stadium and protest. What have you got to do with a Danish man who you don't even know what he designed?
are you referring to the Bonke
They
situation?
ended up doing it and killing our people. Remember one of the governors in the north, if I can mention his name if I want to. When I cry out, he had to find a way of sending support to Bauchi and Bono at that time. If he's listening to me now, he will just nod his head. I know the story. So what I'm simply telling our listeners is that denial is one of the reasons why our violence have not stopped. You are sick, but you are saying I'm not sick. That's not faith. That is lies. If you agree something went wrong, truly our boys didn't treat you well. Truly some people use the name of our religion, but they didn't behave well. But know that generally our religion do not support that. But we will work with you to expose them. That's when we can start talking. That's when we understand. But you say it never happened. It's hot.
Okay. We have about less than 5 minutes left. You promised to give us 20 minutes of your time. Now, the question is, they say Muslims are also being killed. So who are these people that are killing Christians and killing Muslims?
That's exactly what I was finished saying. So you're just asking the same question you have responded. If Lakarawas kill Christians, who killed Christians? Muslim fundamentalists. If Islam killed Christians, who killed Christians? Muslim fundamentalists. And I can tell you, they never came to kill Muslims. They came to kill Christians. But they only started reacting to few Muslims who never supported the ideology. So you can't compare such killing with our killing. Because the groups that are killing are Muslims.
So
they
what?
kill us and only react to some few number of you. But instead of facing reality, you are saying they are also killing you. Are we contesting figures? We are angry with an attitude. We are angry with an action that is inhuman, that is wrong. Condemn the action. But when you want to go into debate of they kill you, they kill us, oh, so you like the killing. So you are happy with the killing. We are not happy with the killing. I can give them an example. When there was a problem between the Nigerian military and Shia, I am not Shia, I am not Muslim, but on behalf of the church, we condemned that. We spoke to the then governor, we spoke to the then chief of army staff, Governor Chai, to stop the killings of the Shia, because in our faith, we see everybody as our own. So we protect everybody. The Bible tells me in John 3:16 that for God so loved the world. So if I don't show love to only Christians, I'll show love to everyone. There was a mob action in United States where a young lady, a Muslim, under the allegation of blasphemy. I came out publicly, I condemn it as chairman of Northern Nigeria. So he's telling us what? But once even when we, instead of giving sympathy, what we give is denial, what we give is twisting of fact, what we give is competition about figures. And that's why the wrong education keeps applying. No wonder government find it difficult to tackle this, because when we start in this competitive statement, just call the Sultan and Khan president, of Khan and JNI to meet. It has not stopped because the criminals.
Has there been any meetings with Khan and the government? What is, if you can, in the next 2 minutes, what is Khan's position? What is the fate of the church now?
I've held dozens of meetings. I've held countless meetings, and I'm still going to be holding the meetings. But I can say to you, the lack of genuine sincerity of this conversation is the reason why this matter cannot be addressed. If you want to address this matter, we want honestly to honor. Brethren, we have wronged you. Some people use our name and they have wronged you. They also this pen. And listen very carefully. Not twisting the word of Trump. have no reason to be afraid whether I'm a Christian or not a Christian because I belong to terrorist group. I don't sponsor. People care to listen. If my brother is funding terrorism, arrest him. I will help you even expose him. Because terrorism shouldn't be part of our family history, shouldn't be part of our religious history, shouldn't be part of our life. Because terrorists are enemies of humanity. But some people, since the terrorists bear their identity, have chose the path of defending the terrorists, protecting the terrorists, denying on behalf of the terrorists. But wait a minute. Most of the terrorist groups, even during Boko Haram, when they strike, they will even come publicly and make announcements. And you're still denying. What kind of a human being are we?
All right, Reverend. Unfortunately, we have to go for a break now. Thank you very much for making out time to be with us on the show today. There's still plenty to talk about, but
Thank you for
you have
having me.
said you don't have too much time this morning. But hopefully, in the future, we'll have time to discuss this even deeper and unravel many more behind the current situation. Thank you once again.
Thank you for having me. God bless you.
All right, there you have Reverend Hayab. He is the CAN chairman, Northern States in Nigeria, and the FCT. We take a quick commercial. When we come back, we go over to the phone lines and get your reactions. Stay with us. The conversation continues here on the Morning Crossfire. My name is Ifiemi Andrew. Just before the break, we had spoken with the CAN chairman, Northern States and FCT, Reverend Joseph John Hayab, and well, he said quite a lot about the reported killings and allegations of Christian genocide in the northern parts of the country. And if you follow this conversation, now will be an opportunity to get a response and reaction. I asked him straight, is there truly a Christian genocide? He says from his perspective, from what he has seen, experienced, and what he's going through still, yes, there is. So is what he thinks. However, he also clarified that Muslims also get killed, but the Muslims that get killed are those who are not sharing the same ideology as the extreme Muslims who want to take out Christians, in his words. And even at that, you can't compare like the number and the level of attacks. Fundamentally, he thinks the attack is on Christians, and every other thing that happens on the side is as a result of those who support Christians. But what was fundamental is when I asked him, if Muslims are being killed and Christians are being killed, who are the people carrying out the killings? And that he also gave an answer to. And from his perspective, he said the people doing this are Muslims who are killing Christians and killing Muslims. So he felt it is expected that even the Islamic Council and others should all be coming together and saying, okay, and not trying to banter who has the most killings or the less killings or the highest number or the lowest number. The bottom line is there are killings going on, and these killings are becoming one too many. There are communities that are displaced in, whether we like it or not, these facts are there. We might not talk about it as much as possible, but we have villages that people have been displaced. They can't go back to their villages. They are scared. In Benue, in parts of Plateau, in other parts of the northern parts of this country, there are villages where people have been attacked, killed, maimed. They had to run and leave the village. They can't go back to their own fatherland. They can't go back to their ancestral land. So I think that in itself is also a problem. However, let's get your reaction to the conversation. If you missed it, you can go on Facebook and listen to it all over again at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. I'll be taking some of your comments now. Start with WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is 0809-030-6416. Again, the WhatsApp number is 0809-030-6416. That is the WhatsApp number, so you can send in your thoughts and let's look at it. I think if there's anything to take out of what my guest said, was one major part where he said his concern is not that, it's the fact that everybody is denying that these killings are not happening, saying no. Why is it difficult to agree? According to him, the hurt for him is, why is it difficult to agree that these things are happening? And he went back to as far as the early 2000s and the numbers of people that are being killed as Christians, pastors, churches burnt. Do these things happen? Are these things happening? Is his question. If they are, why can't we say that they are happening and then look at how we want to address it? His worry is the fact that we want to act as though these stories are not true. Well, what do you make of it? 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, or 0817-923-0007. People are killed from both sides. Only those that reach the media space are heard by many. My husband is from Southern Kaduna. I'm from Taraba. I lived in Jos for good 6 years. Conspiracy everywhere. Islam is peace, and it also pledges peace only if we know. Safia from Port Harcourt. Of course, Islam is peace. No, I don't think anybody said otherwise. But Safia, if there's anything that my guest said, that since you lived in those areas, the things that he said, the incidents that he just recounted, the examples he gave, the stories and everything he has said that he has witnessed, and what, if there's anyone that's not true, please send us a message too and tell us this one he said is a lie, did not happen, or that one he said is not happening. I think that's where we should begin to go with this, so we can filter what really did and what did not. All right. Andrew, always remember Shaibu up until now is still in the den of our captors because she chose to confess Jesus as Lord and Savior. Okay, that story is everywhere. I'm pretty sure everybody would agree that this happened. There was also a lady, a preacher, who was killed. I can't remember. She was doing the morning cry, I think, the morning evangelism, and then she was attacked. And among several other stories like that many have heard. Obed from Port Harcourt, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
Yep, good morning to you.
Yes, Andrew, there's something your guest said that is particularly I'm very much concerned about. When he spoke about the denial, you understand? You see, this has been the problem. Why?
Obed, please turn down the volume of your radio set completely.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, go on.
Now, the problem we have is this denial that we have in this part of the country, where you have something, you are seeing it, and government will come and deny. They will try to, push a certain narrative that is more, what they call it, communal clash, headers and cattle rearers, what they call it, fight, and the rest of them. So it's getting out of hand. So in fact, if we accept the reality that this is what is on ground and this is what is going on, I think it will be the best way to tackle this problem because it's getting out of hand. Look at the protest people are protesting. You understand? What are you protesting for? Now, if Donald Trump said, I am coming to take out those that are, killing people, and you are protesting, even some of them are their brother. So what are we talking about? Is it the fact that Nigeria, there are people that are more Nigerians than any other person? Who have seen the killing of certain Deborah, who was killed because of blasphemy and the rest of them. So notable politician in the north came out to say that she went too far to have blasphemed Prophet Muhammad. I don't understand this kind of thing. So please, let us accept the reality for the fact that there is killing, either be it Muslim or Christian. And that's what the problem. That's what Nigerians want. Thank you.
Drew, the normal man, good morning.
Yeah, Andrew, I listened to the CAN pastor. The question you asked.
Not just the pastor, chairman of CAN, Northern Nigeria States.
Yeah, he's a pastor, not a chairman. Yeah. So you asked him, who are those doing the killing? And he answered, Muslim fundamentalists. And he as well said, they're killing Christians, Muslims, but Christians are being killed more. For me, that fundamentalist, Muslim fundamentalist, for me means even their religion does not say go and kill Christians. For me, they can be called crazy people. And now that Christians are being killed more, is there anywhere in our religion, Christian religion, that says that go ahead and kill back? No. The Holy Bible said, thou shalt not kill if you want to stick to it. So all we are saying is any country, anybody, the government that wants to give us assistance to fight the insurgents, he mentioned it, those doing the killing are insurgents, should come out and help us. Because our religion, the Christian, I'm a Christian, for this killing, no matter whether you're killing a Muslim, a Hindus, or non-believer. People should give us assistance to see how we can fight the insurgents that are killing Muslims and Christians. And we should not even make it look like Muslims are killing Christians. That war, the war, religious war, never ends. I hope we understand it. It will never end. So if America or Trump is coming to help us, any other religion, government should do more so that we can be able to practice our religion in our country. Muslims to practice theirs, and that's the only way out.
All right. Thank you very much. Nathaniel from Bonny Island, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
The fact well established is that people are presently killing people up north. And for me, these are terrorists. For me, I don't want to give any separation at Christians or in the more of in. The fact is people are being killed. Communities are sacked. People were sacked from their communities and millions of properties were. In short, millions of dollars are being destroyed. And then people who are being disconnected from their families, from their people, people are maybe living in where they are not supposed to live. So if there is any help that is coming from outside, maybe to come and help us, I think we should just admire it. Because for quite some years now, we've seen that the Nigerian government could not do enough, to remove these people. It's just like what happens in Israel. Of course, I will not really support that. But if terrorists are hiding under the umbrella of being over areas and killing their neighbors and destroying properties, these terrorists should be removed. They should be removed so that the communities should be addressed. And right now, we've attributed some of these insecurity problems to not having enough food. Farmers could not even access their farms. Marketers cannot even go and get produces to distribute. And this contributes to most of the problems we have as in the price rising of goods and services in Nigeria. So if these people can be removed, I think for me, without even adding any religious or tribal coloration to it, just go and stretch out these people, either destroy them totally or get them all in prison so that the rest of the people can have in their communities.
All right, thank you very much. I think it's also pertinent that we put this from the conversation with my guest. He did not also say just terrorists, because some of the killings he said were people will live in those states that aren't Christians. There's also that conversation from some of the things that he said, which becomes worrisome. If what the things the incidents he has highlighted, how in some parts of the north there are people that would, for whatever reason, he was talking about the Danish situation, the cartoon, and then you have people just rise up and go attack people and burn churches. And he doesn't think those people are terrorists, the people who did that. These people have a faith that they believe in and they live in those areas and do what they do there. Is that also a reality that is happening? From his story, that is the case. However, is that the reality? Perhaps is another opinion that's different from the one that he has narrated in the incidents that he has experienced as a preacher who is living in that part of the country. Emmanuel from Port Harcourt, good morning. All right, let's go to Nkoro. Ida on the line. Ida, good morning.
Yeah, I'm very, very good morning.
Yep, you're welcome.
Let us not be scared of anybody. How many mosques don't burn for Nigeria? And how many churches don't burn for Nigeria? Muslims are killing Christians. We should come out and say the truth. If Donald Trump can come out and say the truth, we Nigerians cannot defend ourselves. Are we scared of anybody? If he talk, he die. He no talk, he no die. Christians are dying, my brother. Muslims are killing Christians. Now Christians, they kill Christians. No Muslims, they go kill Christians. When they don't do bad, they go kill 2 Muslims. When they kill 100 Christians, it's bad. I'm urging Donald Trump to please send army. Anyone who wants to make it send and come. Make Nigeria be peaceful. All of us are one. They are created in one. God created all of us one. Why are they behaving like this? You kill Christians, you're going to talk any other thing. Christians are dying, my brother. We should help our people.
All right, Ida, thank you. Truthfully, Christians are dying. Yes, there are also Muslims that have been killed. True. But then again, we can't. For the ethics of what the work is that we do, I think it's, and then also for the purpose of unity and peace of this country, they are saying things that you can't say. One of them would be to say that, Muslims are killing, because there are many Muslims and I have Muslim friends and they have not killed me. That is a Christian. They haven't killed me. However, the concern from my guest, if we got him right, is the fact that the people who do these things, some of them are Muslims. Some of them are terrorists who are Muslims. And then why aren't the Islamic Council and other known bodies that, regulate Muslims around the country be honest enough? That is his worry, to say, okay, yes, this thing is happening and the people who are doing this are from our faith, true, but they also do it to us. How can both of us stop this thing? That should be the conversation, as against, no, it's not true, this thing is not happening. I think that's where he was coming from. Magnus is in Mile 3. Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yes, very quickly. I think, if you ask me, there is no part of the world that we don't have killings. There are killings everywhere. But when you come to Nigeria here, If there are killings of Christians and Muslims in the country, and the government doing something about it, if you ask me, I will say yes. President Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu is trying to make sure these killings ends. Look at the service chiefs, call security meetings, and what are you. So I think the presidency are working to make sure these things are being put to stop. But again, you can't remove sabotage from the system. There are some persons in the security system that are sabotaging the system to make sure these things happens. We must look into the system. If we must succeed in this country, every relevant sectors must work, and the security is one of them. You see a situation whereby in the security system we have sabotage, who are sabotaging the system, the effort of government, and you say government are not working. So I think the business of security lies in the hand of everybody, including the community chiefs, the city chairman. The community that these things are happening, you cannot tell, they don't know this, they know them. What is their work? What is their contribution to make sure we curtail the system? So I think everybody must work to make sure this thing is put to stop. Thanks so much, Andrew.
All right, Magnus, thank you. However, I think I should also say this. If you look at when the APC government was trying to get into power, these conversations were held. In fact, it spearheaded this talk of killing of Christians, genocide, and religious killings. And at the time, everybody was free to talk about it and paint it however they did. I've said this a million times. However, now you can almost feel like everybody's trying to be careful what they say. I don't know if it's just me seeing it. It's almost like it's there, but everybody's trying to like, okay, let's not say it like this, or let's not. And the question would be, why, from a political standpoint, why was it easy to shout about it in 2012 and even go to the US and ask that people be arrested, and ask that in 2012, when those individuals who went there were not the government? Note, the individuals who were calling for this, who went to the US, were not government, where you would say they have there has to be some legal agreement or conversations between the government of Nigeria and the government of the United States to tackle this problem. The individuals who went were not sent by government, and they were not in government. They were just concerned Nigerians that went. At that time, nobody cared about international laws. I think I didn't hear too many people say, oh, there are international laws that should not be. I didn't hear people say all of those things. Now, it seems as though everybody, you have to be careful. Don't say it like that. Don't say it like this. I don't know if I'm the only one who is observing this. If you are too, please let me know. Mufasa from NTA Road. Good morning.
Yeah, hi Andrew. Good morning.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I want to say that we play politics with everything in this country. But the same people who went to the United States of America as far back 2012, 2013 are the ones in power today. You understand? Now, the view of the road has changed because the driver has now moved to the passenger seat. It's all about politics. But I just say this morning that if we want to begin to look at this matter as Muslim versus Christian, we'll end up trivializing the whole issue. You know, Muslims are not killing Christians, and I don't want to see it from that angle. We have misguided elements. We have miscreants. We have extremist fundamentalists who are going about killing Nigerians.
So that's the point, Mufasa. How come we are all not agreeing on that? Rather, we are trying to make it look like it is not us, it is not them, it is not we, it is not all of us.
That is the picture the politicians themselves want to paint. You know, they like it that way. They like this kind of narrative because when this division is there, they will just continue to play politics with human lives. Nigerians are being killed. And these people who are the killers, they are not hiding. They are not hiding. It's not as if they are hiding. They attend meetings with politicians. They snap pictures with police officers. And you saw, we see these things. When they attend the meetings with their guns and rifles and war machines, they go back to their camps and bases. So how come is it difficult for the Nigerian government to get these people arrested and prosecute them? But what they do is, you know, they give them a pat on the back, and we have an individual who is going about saying that these bandits and terrorists are their friends, their children, their brothers and sisters.
and that is nobody should touch them. The life of Shegu.
Hello, Mufasa. For whatever reason, you got interrupted. Hello, Mufasa. Can you hear us? Okay, let's go to Triumphant in GRA quickly as we wrap up. Triumphant, good morning.
Hello. Yes, Andrew, good morning and Happy New Week to you.
All right, Happy New Week to you too. Go on.
Okay, Andrew, I think there are certain things we need to put into proper perspective regarding this matter and all the issues trailing it. You see, number one, who are these terrorist groups? Are they predominantly Christians or predominantly Muslims? From the record, you can say they're predominantly Muslims. Now, who have died more among Christians and Muslims? It is also Christians. No, we are not casting aspersions here. I want to call a spade a spade. You understand? Also, I want to let you understand that not as if somebody like Trump wants Muslims to be killed, but I can assure you that America is a Christian country. They have special preference for Christians. It's a Christian state. So I don't think America can fold its hands and look at some of these things happening in any part of the world. But this is what I would say. I have been of the suggestion that our government should act speedily and send a high-powered delegation, to liaise with the government of America. Because, Andrew, I can tell you that America, they respect sovereignty. There is sovereignty in international law. There is diplomacy. But there is no might. They use might. And you cannot be happy with the might they use, and they will use, and heaven will not fall. So I am calling on the government to do things speedily and not to test the result.
All right, Triumphant. Thank you very much. On WhatsApp, good morning. I thank God that America will not base refuse to do whatever they want to do because we are trying to prove that Christians and Muslims are being killed without evidence. How are we trying to prove? We didn't give them any data. Or did they have their data? The organizations in the north that are American organizations that have their data that go to these places. I like the fact that the president Donald Trump is having interest in what's happening in Nigeria, but I don't like is the delay in carrying out actions. These guys are, some of these people are here in Rivers State, and the day will come when they will strike. Let's stop painting things to make it look good. David sent in that message. Another one here on WhatsApp says from Alu, killing in Nigeria is a concern. The statement is not real because killings that's happening. This is political killings and tribalism. If the federal government can introduce discipline to our citizens, every nonsense of killing and corruption will stop instantly. The only remedy we need now is to draw support. Another message here says, Sunday Melody, can anyone mention one Christian terrorist organization? If you cannot, then no need to sound politically correct. God help us. All right, that's how much we can take. We go for a commercial now. My name is Ifiemi Andrew. Good morning.